Hello and welcome to another Peacock Plays video. Today we've got Daily Race B at Sao Paulo on Gran Turismo 7. We've got 3 instalments of the race, so let us get into the first one. So here we are at the starting grid, and for this first race we are starting in P10. We are running the McLaren 650S in the classic Marlboro McLaren livery. So here we go, up into turn 1, starting in P10. Taking the wide line in, being a bit cautious so as not to take anyone out, and that comes back to bite us as we get taken out. I don't think on purpose, because we did brake quite early. But still, that is a very disappointing start to this first race, getting taken out at the first corner. We are now virtually plumb last. Yeah, one position back early doors for another incident. And if we have another look off board, as I was saying, a nice wide line, and just get taken out by someone who I think was going way too deep for the corner. I said it didn't look as if it was done on purpose. But it was a very hard hit, very deep into the braking zone, so whether they were using me as an extra braking point, we'll never know. They did take a penalty, and we are now back ahead of them as we go into start of lap 2. So we are then chasing the Toyota through the centre S's, down the back straight. As we come into turn 4, we have a look on the inside. He doesn't defend, we brake slightly later than him, get into the apex first. And then we also get the Lamborghini on the exit, who ran wide over the curb. So as we can see here from the replay, the Toyota doesn't really defend. He gives us plenty of space. We get into the apex nice and early, and we gain 2 positions from that very clean manoeuvre. Just enjoy the off-board shot of the same manoeuvre. So we've had a pretty decent recovery after the first corner being taken out, and as we come across the line at the end of lap 3, we've got a decent, we've got a bit of a gap ahead of us, but we've now got the attentions of a Porsche. I think it was the Porsche that spun after the chicane on lap 1. And as you can see, he drives past us as if we aren't moving. This is the one thing with this car, is that it is pretty weak in a straight line. Probably not the ideal car to use for this particular race. We do have a little look up the inside, but nothing doing. And we're carrying. He has a wiggle coming out of the second part of the chicane, but it doesn't affect his drive, and he scampers off into the distance. And as you can see, as we move to the end of the lap, he's miles in front of us, over 2 seconds there. He does run wide and go off the grass, but it doesn't really make any difference, and we can only gain about half a second on him. I was thinking at this point, he's cheating. He's running a mod or something that's allowing him to have a more powerful car. I was honestly convincing myself during this race that this guy was cheating, because I was looking at his lines. He doesn't look like a particularly fast driver. How deep he went into that corner here, but just look how easily he's pulling away from me, and I'm thinking there's no way that is just because of my car. As we come out of turn 4, just gapping me a bit more, so I can't get anywhere near him. I think this car is better around the corners, but just could not get anywhere near him on the straights. But he's not particularly consistent around the tight and twisty stuff. I'm trying to find a way through. I was going to have a dive into this corner, but the yellow flares came out. And then this Lamborghini, who had an issue going out of the corner, ghosted through us to keep that position, but that's absolutely fine. But then here's where I gave up the idea of that Porsche cheating, because as you can see, the Lamborghini pulls away just as much as the Porsche did. I think it was just a characteristic of the car that I'm using. It's just not particularly strong in a straight line. Although that Porsche is quite a long way up ahead, but still, I think it's just my car. So anyway, that's the first race done. P9, contact at the first corner, put pay to any ideas of a decent result in that first race. But from our side, it was a clean race, so that will help our sportsman rating. So here we are for the grid for race 2. There's a couple of guys who are in the same race, but not too many. But here we are, P8. And so off we go for race 2. And let's see if we can be a little bit more, a bit bolder into turn 1 to mitigate from anyone contacting us from the rear. So we do brake a bit later, certainly later than the guy at the inside. We don't get taken off, but we do get passed by the Honda there, who doesn't have a particularly good run out of the chicane, and we get back alongside. So a much better start this time. We are still in 8th place, and potentially in a position to have a run at the top 5 in this race. So you can see that the black and gold Porsche braking quite early, but getting away with it. The Honda getting a good run on us, but getting a poor exit, and we are able to retake that position. So as we continue on this first lap, you can see in the mirror at the top there that there was a bit going on in that corner, giving us a bit of breathing space behind. And we are quite close to the Lamborghini in front of us. Let's see if we can hustle our way past him. Looks like he's placing the car very well. We'll have to see if we can get a good exit out of the final corner and see if we can slipstream him up into turn 1. We get contact between the two cars in front, that might give us an opening. We seem to get a good initial run through the corner, but then it takes a long time for the traction to kick in. At the end of lap 1 into lap 2, getting a bit too close to the Lamborghini there, had to bail out of it and go wide. If the car wasn't there, we would have made the corner, but unfortunately he was there. I didn't want to compromise his race, so I had to avoid contact, and that's cost us about a second going through the center S's, and that leaves us open to attack from the car behind, who is going to have a look down the inside. And he's braked a little bit late, and he's just gone a little bit wide, and we've been able to do the up and under and regain the position. I knew as we were coming into there I was braking on the limit, and I suspected he might have been just over the limit slightly, and we're able to get a good run through the corner and retake the position. Just another look at that, the cinematic view. So we continue on this second lap. Let's see if we can catch the group in front of us. Fortunately, we go deep into the infield. Get a tiny nudge from the Lamborghini behind us, who gets a much better run out of the corner, cuts across us before anywhere near the turning point. Another bit of contact. Sweeps in front of us, misjudged the gap slightly, and unfortunately take contact with him, but it doesn't really affect his position. And then we get taken out by the Honda behind us. At this point I'm thinking, did I move across on him under braking? And as you'll see from the replay, that is not the case. As we go back to here, see how early that Lamborghini cuts in front of us. I think he's trying to get ahead of us to block our inside line, but he wasn't far enough ahead. Slight bit of contact as we switch over, and as you can see here, I stay perfectly in a straight line, and the Honda comes pretty much out of nowhere and spins us into the barrier, and that is any chance of a top 5 in this race gone. But we'll press on to see what we can salvage from this race. So as you can see, the Honda was slightly on the grass there coming out of the corner, and from quite a way back tagged us at the rear. There was plenty of space either side of us for him to go, but he chose into us. I don't know if he got a penalty for that in this race. So here we are then, second from last, 14th place, coming up to the end of lap 2. Let's see if we can have a bit of a race with this Porsche in front of us, make it at least moderately interesting for the rest of this race. So down into turn 1, the Porsche runs deep. Hopefully that will give us a run on him as we go through the centre S's. Once again, our lacking straight line speed is holding us back in this car. And we have to settle for following him through. He does run off the circuit and then cuts quite violently across us and tags us, and gets a half a second penalty for the track extension, not the contact. Giving him a bit of space, a bit of wide berth, because he does look like he's a little bit erratic and don't want to get involved in any altercation with him. Plus we will get that position from him on the start finish straight when he serves that penalty, so long as we don't drop too far behind him as we go up the hill. So he does get a better run than us, but serves that penalty. Hopefully he doesn't block us too severely, and he doesn't, and we take the position. We are up into P13 as we head on to a lap 4. Looking like he's having a bit of a dive down the inside. Contact with us from behind. He was nowhere near making the move, but fortunately it didn't push us off the circuit too much, and we were able to keep the position. As we come to the end of lap 4 onto the final lap, we've got a healthy gap behind us. We're under no stress from behind us, but we're too far behind the Lamborghini in front to gain any more positions in that race. So that was, what was that, P13? Yeah, P13 for race 2. Let's see if we can have a bit of a better run in our third and final run at Sao Paulo's Daily Race B today. So here we are in P8 once again. Here we are at the start, and away we go from P8. Once again, let's see if we can be a bit braver on the brakes into turn 1. Actually, we are now P7. Someone dropped off before the very start of the race. We did brake a little bit early, and we do get tagged from the back, but fortunately it was a square hit, so we just bounced forward slightly, not off the circuit, and we were able to continue. The Lamborghini there went off the road in the first corner. We managed to get past him before he then spins behind us as we go down the main second straight. See the tag there, fortunately didn't cost us too badly. A Lambo coming back on after his excursion, and we were able to get the run on him and round the outside. So we continue on then on to turn 4. We are currently P7, I think the highest we've been in any of the 3 races so far. Slight tag from the back from the Lamborghini once again, but nothing too detrimental this time. Porsche running wide and going off the circuit. Another tag from behind from the Lamborghini. Once again, I think that's just close racing, nothing malicious meant, I don't think. As we go into the infield section, try and keep this nice and tight. Excuse me, and see if we can make an attack on this Porsche, who's getting very squirrely through the two tight infield corners. Looks like one of the Ferraris up front was having a bit of a moment. Come round into the final corner. And another tag. That one, I don't know if I brake too early for that one, or whether the Lamborghini was a bit too ambitious into the final corner, but that was a much heavier contact than the 2 previous. But we are still on the circuit and we are still ahead, so no harm done. Now, as we cross the line at the end of the first lap, we are in P5, certainly the highest we have been so far today. Into the centre S's once again, and yet another slight tag from the Lamborghini, but that one was more close racing than anything ill-meaning. So as we go down the back straight, you can see the Lamborghini getting a good run on us. Down the inside he goes. And, well, he tagged me 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to feel too bad about that one. So he does make a pretty good move. He does get ahead of us. He goes a little bit slower than I was anticipating, and that caused the slight tag and pushed him slightly wide. And then we retake the position. But like I said, he tagged us 3 or 4 times on that opening lap. I'm not going to feel bad about it. Anyway, nothing much happens after that. In P4, trying to chase down the top 3. We sort of gained a little bit, lost a little bit. Got no threat from behind, so we're seeing what we can do about potentially getting this podium in this final race. See if we can catch that Porsche. We are pushing as hard as we can, but it looks like unless there's any incidents in front of us, I don't think we're going to get there. The 2 Ferraris at the head of the field in first and second are pretty close. See how close they are right up ahead of us, so you never know, they might get together. But I think on pace we're going to have to settle for 4th place, which, given how the first 2 races have ended, I will take that as a decent result for this final run today. So as we run through Yunshao and into the final corner for the final time today. Up the hill, we will end in our McLaren Marlboro liveried vehicle in 4th place for the best result of today. I enjoyed the final race. Frustrated with the first 2, but a good result to end on today's video. So that is going to be it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you again for the next one.
PlayStation